Okay, so the purpose of this video today is the hand trick day 4 and day 5. If you have these in front of you, you'll realize that the functions that I give are not the original functions like day 1, 2, and 3. Instead, these are the reciprocal functions. So we have cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Okay, so again, those are the reciprocal functions of sine, cosine, and tangent. We have them in the exact same order. So what we're gonna do with these two worksheets is we're gonna do the exact same thing, okay? So you're gonna imagine this as being sine and imagine this as being cosine. It will only change something when we get to the exact value, okay? So for the reference angle, I'm gonna draw my symbol here, okay, my coordinate plane. Some of you have been putting it in the corner here, using your resources, and that's totally fine. Okay. Initial side, negative 135. We'll do this one first. Negative, since we go clockwise. Okay, so negative 90, negative 180, negative 135 is exactly in the middle here. Okay, and again, I'm going to draw these as if I'm going to continue doing these in standard position. So I'll continue with that practice. Okay, reference angle then is this angle between, because again, this is the terminal side and this is the closest x-axis. So 45 degrees. Okay, the middle part there where I asked for the quadrant that the terminal side is located in, this is in quadrant 3. So again, it goes quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and again, highly noted that it is possible for you to have 6 different options in here. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, x-axis, and the y-axis. If it falls on the axis, it's not a between thing, it's the y-axis, or the x-axis, or the y-axis, or the x-axis. Okay? This one falls in quadrant 3. Okay, and again, because we're going to have to modify this a little bit, I'm going to actually work out sine inside of this box. Okay, so sine of negative 135, again using a reference angle of 45, so I'm going to put down my middle finger here. Sine is the square root of the fingers below, so we have 1, 2, so it's the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, again, now checking the sign on this, it is in quadrant 3, and if we remember, it's all students take calculus. So all students take calculus. The only function in quadrant 3 that is positive would be tangent. So therefore, this is actually going to be equal to negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, that is the value of sine. If we were looking for sine of negative 135 degrees, that would be our answer. However, I'm looking for cosecant. So what I need to do with this is I need to take this and I need to flip it. The sign stays the same, but I have the reciprocal now. Okay, and we'll notice that now we have a square root in the denominator, so I need to rationalize the denominator. I cannot have that square root in the bottom, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by that square root. And I'm going to multiply it, so that gives me negative 2 square root of 2 over 2. And then you should notice here that we have a 2 on top and a 2 on the bottom that are not under a square root. So I can simplify that now. So this becomes negative square root of 2. Okay, and that's my answer for the first question on day 4. Okay, and we'll do one more just for the purpose of doing it. And then if you have questions after that, please feel free to get a hold of me. So secant of 240 degrees. Again, I'm going to do my initial side. 240 now is positive, so I go up 90, 180, 270, so I'm a little off of here. All right, and again, initial or standard form for this would be up and around. and I would end here. Okay, my reference angle again is between the x-axis and the terminal side, again the closest one. So the reference angle is again here now. From 240 back to 180 is 60 degrees. Okay, we have 240 minus that 180. Okay. Again, looking at the second part here, quadrant what? It's again falling in quadrant 3 here. Okay, I promise they all don't fall in quadrant 3. You'll have to just work them out. Okay, and again, just for the purpose of showing it in this box, since I have a larger box here, I'm going to work out what cosine would be, because again, this is the reciprocal of cosine. So cosine of 240 degrees would be what? Again, that's a reference angle of 60 degrees. So I'm going to put down my 60 degree finger. Cosine is the square root of the fingers above, so up. So I have square root of 1 over 2. Okay, square root of 1 is 1, so we have 1/2. And again, checking that sign. So again, we'll look back at that top one there. All students take calculus. We're again back in quadrant 3, where again, tangent is the only one that is positive. So because we're taking cosine, this one should be negative. Okay, and then going back to the exact value box now, we're going to look at the secant, and that's just the reciprocal of cosine. So I'm going to take my answer here, and I'm going to flip it. That's negative 2 over 1, which then reduces to just be the negative 2. Okay, if you leave it as negative 2 over 1, that would be totally fine. But negative 2 is a better answer. Okay, and again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please, by all means, feel free to reach out to me.